Sa lahat ng plano binanggit po nyo on the preparation for to prevent disaster, nothing was ever mentioned about the need to dredge the Cagayan River. Past administrations have been talking about it, but up to now, nothing has been done. Can the national government handle that, to dredge the Cagayan River once and for all?
That is not a solution that will be perfect for a long time. It mitigates the problem, but it doesn't really pose a solution. We still have illegal logging upstream if you have the degradations of small-scale mining. That problem will still persist. Yung, okay na ako tagalogin yung other portion of the area. When we, pinag-aaralan po natin sitwasyon sa pagtubig, napakaraming ahensya na nakatuloy sa tubig. Pag irigasyon o, tingin. Pag protection ng watershed, DNR. Pag yung potable water system, LUA, and so on and so forth. Tapos yung namamahala ng dam, para may kanya-kanya rin mga protocol. Meron supposed to be National Water Resources Board na nagtatakala ng mga polisiya. Pero ang lumalabas sa parang kanya-kanyang direksyon, kanya-kanya pinapansin. So, tinalaga natin si Secretary Dave Simpson para maging para magkaroon nga tayo ng isang polisiya na isi-synchronize lahat ito mga EDSA para may patutunguhan tayo. Ito ng flash floods, supply na irrigation, supply na ng power, tubig para sa ating mga hydro dam, etc. So yun po yung long term. Now what we can do at the present time is, and has been done already, yung geo-hazard mapping. There are at least 172 cities and municipalities that have been given the respective copies highlighting areas that are at risk. Hindi ko lang po, yung dredging, we're actually investigating a dredging project for the Pasig River. And unfortunately, as typically, there is at least 40% of about the 5 billion project that was not done. It's really just a waste of money. Lalo ko hindi nyo ma-address what was the situation.
Yung river ho kasi, Cagayan River, masyadong mababaw na po.
Agree.
And konting bahala, nag-overflow niya. That's one of the causes of the main flooding.
Kahit konting baho, I understand that the rainfall you got in that one night was equivalent or more to the 1 month normal rainfall procedure. Tsaka Europe came to naman siguro to remember na December, hindi yung ulan ng Pilipinas, especially dito na. We have global climate change and we also have to prepare for that.
But we had a flood earlier 3 years ago of or not of the same magnitude, but again the cause that was determined then was illegal logging, mining, and then
some dredging will be part of it. But the ultimate solution has to be with what causes the siltation. If we just keep on removing it, wala akong magyayari sa ating talaga. Thank you po. Thank you po.
Luis Dumas, Mrs. Ward.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, will there be incentives for companies and industries affected by the flood, like, for example, tax breaks or subsidies and other such things for their workforce?
We will task the media to study the matter. That was not discussed in yesterday's cabinet meeting, but thank you for reminding us. There might be a part of that. I remember correctly. There are some agencies, I think it's the Insurance Commission, who has, the insurance companies have stated that papayag silang ma-delay yung payments due from December up to March, if I'm not mistaken, as a public service for the client. Then the others we were more focused on the relief operations right now and the search operations. So our teams with the business community has been lending us the facilities, the means to transport the relief goods all the way to your provisions of the potable water filtration systems. I think there are 2 right now that are here. There are another 4 that are on the way to address the lack of potable water.
And the special problem also in JB.
About the time that Aquino administration should seriously look on illegal mining and illegal logging and re-amend the existing laws pertaining to it.
Is it about time? Parang naman hindi namin tinitignan. Kaya nga naglabas tayo ng total logging ban. Mga pinayari ng natural forest. Pero meron mga pumuntrata o kinutrata natin na nagpapahintulot ang pumuntrata. Sila magtatanin, pwede na alihin yung pagpunta. So hindi natin pwede sabihin lalo na yung tinayin mo ng privado sa gobyerno yan, sa tao yan, mga ginagawa mo yung kanilang area yun, illegal yun. Ngayon, ang natutusan natin dito sa illegal, nakikita nyo sa baybayin natin nila, napakaraming troso. No? At paniwala nga po, nag-arap ko sa lalaman. So, ating bagong talagang OIC, may putasan na rin, na-investigate yung sitwasyon, hindi na namin report sa atin na hindi huminto, hindi ito pa ginagawa yung para sa atin. Meron po tayo general supervision sa mga opisyalis na aral, isa doon sa regional governor. At pasasagot ko natin, bakit ba hindi nyo sinunod yung laging ba? Pero, yun o, next step. Unang-una, yung kaligtasan ng mga tao, affecto na ito, trahedya ito, at may ayos yung kanilang mga pangailangan. At may balik sila sa lalo matuloy ka ron, sa dating kinarapin na ito.
Okay, Norman Bordador, inquirer.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, even with the moratorium on logging dun sa natural and residual forest, sir, nagkaroon pa rin ng ganitong klaseng trahedya. Sir, do you see the need, or do you see the need to make certain officials accountable for perhaps a failure to implement yung EO 23, sir?
Can I leave an answer to that until the fact-finding team that we created has finished? Para mayroon pong mga accused na precise. So, pag in-accuse ko, malapit lang dito sa korte.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Joyce Majares, let's start that.
Detail lang, sir. Yung fact-finding, how long is the period for giving them the recommendation?
If it takes more than 3 months, I will be severely depressed and displeased. I will not normally give anybody a firm schedule. They will have 2 days, no, the day of the lab. Malaman mo na yung scope na kailangan mo nyo. And pagpunta dito, nakatuto tayo muna siyempre na ganito o hindi na. Nakatuto ko tayo sa kumagin, tapos pero hindi kasama sa sendo, ngayon ako storte. So, lahat ito mga natasan ko, sila na naman ang tumutulog sa mga hanggarang pangangailangan natin mga kabayan. So, at siguro natin, at nakita visually, yung dami ng mga proso, nagdalat, ito sa beach, ito sa iligan. So, yun ang, yung dagdag na informasyon ito, malalaman lang gano'n sa kung pa tayo sa laraw. Hindi naman natin bakit na lupa dito. Sino ba nagpapit dito? Eh kung nalaman na pinag-irutan na dito ng government mo, yung patuloy lang magpapituloy na. Ano kaya nagsira? Pero accusation na. Nahanapan natin ang prepa. At siyempre, kailangan natin ang rectification. Sumunod na sila sa pinag-abasahan dito.
Recently, a while ago you ordered ARM policy governor, which you had a mind to focus on curbing illegal logging in the region. Maybe know what are your other marching orders in sa Nakamansi?
Yung paniwala po namin, yung ating problema sa langit, yung mula, ito nga sa kakulangan ng oportunidad para masenso sa tao. Yung hindi pa, at nangyayari yan, dahil sa hindi natin deliver yung tao ng basic services. Kaya nga nung ating story, di ba, kaalala ko lang, pinagkit natin yung estudyante ko, tumaan ko sa Ghost Road para hanapin yung Ghost School para maturuan ng Ghost Teacher. So yung marching order, in effect, is may roadmap na ginawa po sila ng Jeep kasama ng kanyang vice governor at ng iba pang mga stakeholders kung saan mamadaliin natin yung pagkakaloob ng mga basic services sa ARP na hindi po napagkaloob natin. May paalala ko lang po, yung fact-finding team ng COA, kanilang audit for covering the years 08 and 09, parang 80% ng allocation to the Office of the Regional Governor, may pwede tapos silang findings. Meron silang questionabling natuklasan sa 80% ng kapuang budget sa regional government. So, dagdag po ito sa pagsiyasat dito sa patuloy na matapos ng pagpuputol ng ating mga forests. Please, Mr. Joyce.
So yung offer ng World Bank sa ADB na loans, are we amenable to tapping this fund sources?
Yung loan sa World Bank was yung inalok sa atin noong araw pa, we invested in this fund. And the payoff is we are able to grow at concessional rates for this facility that deals with natural disasters. So, sa ngayon, we still have something like 1.17 billion na calamity fund. Then there are other funds that can be tapped. And I will rest on the recommendations of our ECON team as to the necessity of tapping these other funds. Importante siguro dito, kasi meron, sorry, Alan, may mga mag-aambag rin kung wala tayo. May mga ano pa tayo ng tulong mula sa Amerika, sa Japan, China, Russia, Spain, and to other countries, and others are still coming in. No? Yung, for instance, transport, yung C-130 natin kaya sa isa, down for maintenance na. No? Pero baka within 2 or 3 days, maibalik sa service ito. Pero mga nakikiyambag sa atin, mga tumulong sa atin yung mga bansa na nag-alok na kami ito mga kapasilitarin sila. So pag sinuma yan, sinuma yung mga kailangan natin gawin dito, determine kung kailangan pa natin ito. Or i-reserva na natin itong mga pwede natin pag-autagan kung sakasakali may dumating pa ibang kanalang ito.
Okay, ulit tanong muna kay General Senior ng Radyo Singh.
Sir, dito po sa fact-finding committee, ano po yung assurance na meron po mananagot na official o may masisibak po pero sa kanyang pagkukulang? Kasi may mga sabi ng mga pagkukulang na may pagkukulang na po talaga yung sa bigay po yung pag-asa, wala po yung warning.
Last part, ang pag-asa yung pinagawa niyo. Hindi, I'm sorry. Ang pag-asa ay
nagsulat daw po sa pamilya ng warning. Yun po kasi ang parang batikos dito sa mga disaster agencies.
yung not to defend pag-asa. Pero at 13 pa lang yata, nagbabaan sila ng warning. Kaya dito ako ba, para ma-describe ko yung Tito Garcia. Kaya kanina by chopper, nakita namin yung Sitio Town na Isla de Oro. Yung those of you haven't seen it, I suggest if you can reach it. Or when you go out by air, babalik na rin sa Manila, you will see it probably on the right side, coming from the airport. Isa approach it sa the left side. Pakikita nyo doon yung ilog. No? Parang dire-diretso yung kontakto niya, dadaan sa gilid. No? Parang may harang na sitio. Kapag lumampas yung dami ng capacity sa Cagayan River, sigurado sasagasaan ito. Diba? Yung Cagayan River, bigla may harang dito. Tapos papakurbahin mo, matatakulin mo ng diretso, tapos papakurbahin mo rito. Pag lumagasa yung river, nakatatawa. May bakit ko pinakita. Noong 2006, may mukhahe kasi bigyan ng titulo yung mga tao na hinirahan doon. Tinanggihan na ng DNR 2006 pa lang. Tapos parang 2007, 2009, pero the last that Secretary Pai was reporting to me, sinabi ng diretsuhan, talagang mapangarip yung lugar na yan, hindi pwede titulohin yan, ganun isa itong masasalatayan. Ano pa po nagawa?
Okay. Sir, last question. Sir, personally, kasi naman po ng pag-party ko kahapon pa po, yung daw yung pag-party daw po habang nasa kasasagan daw po na kalamidad na namatay. Ay, kayo po ay ano po yung mensahe sa mga critical po na patuloy po ilong natin po yung
Critical ba? Ano pa sasabihin niya? Isa ako nung araw niya, kung nagkakaroon niya, NDRRMC meeting. Naging ko tinugunan. Natalman yung meeting niya. Tinanong ko lahat ang sa naging niya. Yung ating matagal-tagal ng plano, pinag-usapan, kino-operationalize na yun. Kaya nga sila critical ko, hanap ako ng matasan. Kaya, bakit ako nag-trip ng Christmas party? Kanino ko ba Christmas? Para sa akin, sa kabataan. Ito mga kabataan, meron po mga naghahanda na nalahan ng mga number na pinag-insiyo ng pagkatagal-tagal. Tapos ang importante yung sa akin, hindi mag-represent yung importante naman ako sa BSD ko na meron silang ganong celebration sa isang taon. Hindi sa yung anniversary at saka yung Christmas party. Sasabihin mo sa bata, hindi tuloy ang Christmas party yung dahil Christmas. Eh parang bakit naman natin sila kailangan dito eh. Kung hindi mo makakatulong dito sa mga nasa nato dito. At tinapos po na namin yung pagsasakaso ng mga kababayan natin nasa lantai. Hindi lang po sa Cagayan, hindi lang po sa Iligan. Sama na yung Negros Oriental, sama na po yung Ilo, sama na rin po yung Locos Norte. Ngayon, sa buong 24 oras, hindi na nakita po. Siguro, masaya sila thank you sa inyo. Merry Christmas sa akin.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Kasama na sa meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, apologies.
Use the microphone. Use the mic.
Apologies. I apologize for not speaking Tagalog. So I have a couple of questions in English, please. My question is,
How can you identify which organization you belong?
sorry.
Which organization you belong?
My name is based in Bangkok. A couple of questions is that I'm thinking evacuation centers, and we also went to some mortuaries yesterday. And the people that we were speaking to are saying it's very inhumane that they're being put into landfills, and it's not respectful. How do you feel about having to do such a thing? And second question, please.
All right.
In your
Excuse me. I don't think there's any plan to put, an authority to put anybody, any business individual in that. I don't know where he got that from. And I don't know where these reports are coming from. That is not something that is not authorized by any law. There will be, if there is a, first the disease, the post health hazard to those who are still living. And what is required is that they be given burial on an individual basis, but there will be a lot that where all of them will be buried, not as deeply as normal, because there is also still a need to identify all of this disease, to put a closure to all of the families that lost their relatives. But no, I really don't know where he got that from, but if anybody ever does that and puts this the disease in landfills, they will have to answer for the law.
Okay, that's perfect, because a lot of people that I spoke to inside were getting the information that this was happening. Okay, second thing, please. In your speech, you mentioned that there is a disaster preparedness already in place, but that people didn't follow your direction, the procedures, as it were. Don't you think it's a bit of a harsh sort of message to be given at people who have lost quite a lot of things and as well loved ones?
That is a reality that a lot of our rescuers have to face. Not only this tragedy, but also the one that affected Central Luzon, the Cordillera area also. We are not that harsh. We recognize some certain segments of the society have all of their belongings, their possessions within the houses, and they are want not to leave the same. But at the same time, we have to recognize, for instance, this area here, it's called Isla de Oro. If you look at it on the geohazard map, it is anybody even without any formal training in engineering or fluid dynamics will realize that once the river exceeds its capacity to hold water, this will be the natural course. And there was a significant humidity inside there, and has been warned constantly, even before we assumed office, that this is not fit for human habitation, that the danger is very, very intense. So, the statement basically is a call to everybody that rather than responding to tragedies, the emphasis should be in preventing all of these tragedies from happening to begin with. And there's a little frustration in that 80 of our 60 of our 80 provinces have identified areas already at severe risk of flash floods or landslides. So I think it is high time that we call a spade and ask everybody to act responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.